that we are in the then they fight you stage. And, 2009 to 15, first they laugh at you. No, I'm sorry. First they ignore you, right? They just a bunch of nerds and geeks playing with their magic internet money. Who cares? 16 to 21, then they laugh at you. A bunch of nerds and geeks playing with their magic internet money. Ha 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 ha. Not real. 2022 to 2027, unfortunately, probably. Then they fight you, and I will take the other side. SBF is the mastermind of nothing. Caroline, mastermind. They are not masterminds. They are useful idiots. That legislation didn't come from him. It came from the top.
American investor and fund hedge manager Mark Yusko has again warned investors about the raging battle against the cryptocurrency industry by banks and regulators in the United States. In a recent interview with Blockworks Macro, Yusko, the founder and manager of Morgan Creek Capital Management, explains that there is a huge plot underway to take control of the cryptocurrency industry by powerful people in the traditional financial industry. Yusko explains that existing industries and systems have always been threatened by new, more powerful systems and industries. The popular Bitcoin investor cites the example of the red flag traffic laws or locomotive acts. These laws were enacted in the United Kingdom and the United States in the late 19th century. They mandated drivers of early automobiles to take certain precautions, including being led by a pedestrian, waving a red flag, or carrying a lantern to warn people of the vehicle's approach. These ridiculous laws were despite a speed limit of 4 miles per hour and 2 miles per hour when driving inside a town. In his interview, Yusko explains that regulators only implemented these rules to stop the growth of the new industry because it threatened the existing horse and buggy industry. According to the renowned fund hedge manager, a similar thing is happening with the cryptocurrency industry. From the Ripple case to the creation of central bank digital currencies and even the FTX collapse, Yusko believes there is a grand plot to undermine the cryptocurrency industry so the rot in the traditional financial system can continue to grow and fester. We will now take you to Yusko's interview as he also gives his outlook for the crypto markets in 2023. Please watch, share, and like this video. Also, make sure you drop your comments and observations in the comments section below so the video can reach more people. Thanks, and enjoy the video. In his interview, Yusko discusses signs of the battle against the cryptocurrency industry and the need for an adoption mechanism for Bitcoin.
I don't want to shift, because Michael, you labeled me hopeful at the beginning, so I don't want to shift all the way to sinister, but I got to add some sinister here.
That was quick, Mark. That was a quick pivot.
No, look, yeah, look. What Santiago brings up is at the core of all of this, and look, I'm not going to go all the way into the complete sinister, but we've talked about this from over and over that we are in the then they fight you stage. And, 2009 to 15, first they laugh at you. No, I'm sorry. First they ignore you, right? They just a bunch of nerds and geeks playing with their magic internet money. Who cares? 16 to 21, then they laugh at you. A bunch of nerds and geeks playing with their magic internet money. Ha 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 ha. Not real. 2022 to 2027, unfortunately, probably. Then they fight you. And I will take the other side. SBF is the mastermind of nothing. Caroline, mastermind. They are not masterminds. They are useful idiots. That legislation didn't come from him. It came from the top. That is the incumbents, the banks, and the regulators trying to do exactly as you said, to cancel this incredible technology that replaces trust with truth. Look, that is a monster transition that is going to happen. Right? We talked about the red flag law, right? No one's ever seen anyone walking in front of a car with a red flag. No one listening to this podcast has ever seen that. But that was the law at the turn of the century when the automobile was created. The horse and buggy people went and paid big money to the New York regulators to get them to pass a law. They said you had to hire a human to carry a red flag in front of your car so you didn't, run into anybody. So that is where the term red flag comes from, is they paid the regulators to get and look, the airlines, when the airlines came out, the train companies tried to do a similar thing. When the internet was created, they tried to pass a law that made voice over IP, which we're all using right now, illegal. And, Al Gore did not invent the internet, but he did kill that bill. So he does get some credit for helping the internet be created. And central bank digital currencies, that is not positive for anything, anywhere, anyway. Echo it with one caveat, well, the second caveat. So the first caveat is clearly if DCG goes bust, and Genesis tumbles and Tether turns out to be a total fraud, which it probably is. Probably not total fraud, but probably bad guys doing bad stuff. I heard a great line, or saw a great line today, fraudahamas, that the Bahamas are basically the haven for fraudsters. Always has been. Money laundering and all kinds of good stuff. But the second caveat is we need an adoption mechanism to drive adoption, right? And in the early bull market in kind of 15, 16 into 17, it was just the first introduction into a wallet, and whether it was a hot wallet or in some cases a ledger or something like that. In 2019-20 was all about GBTC. And in the absence of an adoption mechanism, it's hard to get the fulfillment of the cycle. So while I've like I said, crypto winter ended in June. We're in crypto spring. Crypto spring lasts till April next year, and then we get to crypto summer. The angle of ascent of crypto summer has to do with the ability of the masses to have adoption. It ain't going to be GBTC at a 50% discount. It's just not. So we need something else to get the capital into Bitcoin.
What mechanism do you think will spur the next round of global adoption of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? Do you think it will be a severe global recession, more widespread censorship, and government overreach through fiat currencies and CBDCs, or the return of the bull market? Please let us know what you think in the comments section below. Regardless of the plot to undermine the cryptocurrency industry and the GBTC and Tether caveats, Yusko believes 2023 is going to be a better year for the cryptocurrency industry compared to 2022. Here is Mark Yusko's macro outlook for 2022.
The Mt. Gox thing in 2014, way worse. Like orders of magnitude worse than the FTX debacle. And look, I don't want to minimize the fact that $9 billion is a meaningful amount of money, but it's not relative to $1 trillion industry, first of all. Second, it is not unusual to have centralized institutions fail. We've had 523, I think is the number, banks fail since the global financial crisis. Forget the things that happened in the global financial crisis, but since then, there have been 523 banks that have gone away. The other thing is when Mt. Gox went under, there was no really other viable options for exchanges. I mean, it was it. Now there are 499 other exchanges. And look, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole on this, and I would like to leave this, this perpetrator in the rearview mirror and not even mention his name. But the issue for me is, as Yano said, the positivity of the technology has been acknowledged. The flight of talent into the industry is here to stay. That's all hugely positive. The wrapping it back to the macro stuff is, I agree that the banquet of consequences is a really apt description, because look, the Fed created this mess, the Fed and all the other central banks around the world, by having emergency policies long after the emergency. And why did they do that? Right? Well, they did that to reliquify the bank balance sheets. The bank balance sheets were horrific. Right? There's a reason the Genesis block has the chancellor bailing out the banks for the second time. There's a reason that Bitcoin was created right in the middle of the global financial crisis. It wasn't created on that day. It was ready for some period of time, a year, 2 years, whatever it was. It was released on that day for a reason. And so if you think about the destruction that's been caused by the withdrawal of that excess liquidity in terms of market cap, right? Fangman alone has lost close to 4 trillion. 4 trillion. Like, just think about that. We're talking 7 stocks have wiped out $4 trillion of wealth. And, someone was trying to make, who was it? It was, Wapner, when he was picking on Pomp. on TV trying to say that, people have lost so much money in crypto. I'm like, dude, Judge, people lost more money in Amazon this year than the entire crypto industry.
That's actually a pretty nuts statistic.
This is a fact, right? Amazon went down 50%, and everybody owned it. Everybody owned it because it's in every index fund, which everybody owns. So I'm going to come back to the macro, which is we are likely in a recession. Be like, no, Mark, we're not. Look at the number yesterday. The GDP was so high, 3.2%. Like, no, it wasn't. GDP was negative. The only reason we had a 3.2% print is because they released a bunch of oil from the SPR and counted it again for the second time. They counted it when they produced it. Now they're counting it again when they sell it as net exports. That's just tomfoolery, right? That's not real. Same thing's happened in the fourth quarter, and it's going to be a positive number. First quarter is going to be a wipeout. It's going to be a wipeout bad number because we have seasonality. We got polar vortexes. We got global growth slowing. It's going to be a wipeout. Earnings are going to be a wipeout.
What do you think about Mark Yusko's assessment of the current state of the cryptocurrency markets? Do you believe there is a plot to stop the industry's growth and that the XRP case and the FTX collapse are a part of the plot? Please drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Also, ensure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out our other videos featuring Mark Yusko and other prominent members of the cryptocurrency industry. Thanks for watching.